It's a really exciting project today. It's pretty wobbly. Will the conduit snap? That is the question. Oh, that's bang on. Oh, no way. Oh my goodness.
Smoked salmon and avocado salad. He's going to be filming the rest of this analog.
Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of Artisan Electrics. We're here today at somewhere very special. It's an electric vehicle charging installation, but it's not the usual one. We're here at Corley's and they do something very special. They do lithium-ion battery recycling. They take the old batteries, recycle them, turn them back into raw materials. And the reason we're here, we're fitting 3 electric vehicle charging points, but we're going to try and set up a really interesting system whereby they can harness the charge from those old batteries and then use that, send it into the electric vehicle charging system to charge up vehicles that are parked in the car park. So it's a really exciting project today. It's something that we've had in the pipeline for a while and I've been really looking forward to it. As always, we're going to take you along for the ride with us, show you everything that we're up to. Corey and Ruben are going to be busy installing a 7 kilowatt charge point here. I'm going to jump over to the other site just around the corner where we're installing 2 22 kilowatt charging points. And if you're interested to see an in-depth video on the process of recycling lithium-ion batteries, maybe we'll be able to give you a little sneak peek into the process as well. Let us know in the comments if that's something that would be of interest to you. So before we start, first things first, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's get into the video.
I left my nice flick knife. Yeah, it's in my car. It had fish guts on it. I took it fishing this weekend. Cut up some fish for some crab pots and lobster pots. It's sitting in my car currently. Didn't really feel like using it at work without giving it a little bit of a wash first. Right, so I'm filling this in because it turns out there's a steel plate right there running through the wall. So that was where I wanted to come through, but ended up hitting steel, so not anymore. Luckily, the Artisan repair brickman is on site. So we're working somewhere today. I don't want to say where it is, because just in case we have followers from here, there's every chance Jordan is going to get kidnapped on this job. So if that happens, I guess that makes me the new de facto leader of Artisan Electrics. So first thing I'll probably do will be free merch for everybody. Probably sack Ruben. I'll hire him back again, just maybe to a lower rank, something just below apprentice. Just for his lip recently. Nathan, definitely gone. I'm not saying he doesn't fit in here, but I purposefully got out the filthiest high-vis I could and wore it so that, like, you know, I looked a little bit more street. The thing is, I know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to go into that tea room and he's going to pull out his smoked salmon and avocado salad, and he's just going to get chinned. So we've got it through there, we've second fixed it, got it all ready. There's like loads of diesel tanks and stuff that are stored here. I don't really want to drill into any of this because I don't know what material it is, I don't recognise it. Oh yeah, like this is covered in oil now. So my plan is to just get some metal zip ties and fix onto that cable that's already been drilled into it, so that way I'm not disturbing anything. Cable tie onto that with some metal cable ties because that's fixed on with metal banding, and then drop down into the board. It's not the prettiest work ever. Obviously in an ideal world I'd love to just run a bit of tray and rerun it all, but sometimes you just have to work according to what you're given and according to the environment that you've been put in. So if you want to just find the end of the cable.
I thought I'd just show Ruben what hard work really is, because I know he's got used to working with you for a while now. And Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the flush cutters, they make life really hard for a cable tie engineer. Thank you, sir. Dear, hold it. There you go. It's easier to get them on that way. I'm not going to reference the Blink-182 album cover. Oh wait, I just did. Do you know this little magic trick with cable ties? Neither do I. So I'm just going to cut these off. When you're cutting cable ties off, you just need to be really careful to not cut the cable that's behind them. I know that sounds like, oh, that's stupid, but it's so easily done because these are really sharp. Now, we can tuck that behind there. There we go. And we could actually do our cable tie. If you've got a steel cable tie, we could do a steel cable tie around here. There's something so satisfying about cable tying. I know it sounds really weird, but it's just doing some nice, neat cable tying is one of the most satisfying parts of being an electrician. It's not a very skilled job, but it's very satisfying. Anyway, I'll let Ruben crack on with it now. I was just pretending to do some work, that's all.
I'm just terminating this here. What I'm doing is I'm leaving plenty of slack. My plan is, because obviously it's the EV Ultra cable, I've got the data cable inside of it. I think I'm going to disconnect the power, try and find a time maybe around lunchtime that I can do that. Drill up into that trunking there, make that off into the metal trunking. I'll drop a piece of Copex or something down that bar there for the CTs, and I'll connect the CTs on that way. When I drill, I'll probably just put the lid of the trunk in or a bit of wood or something just to stop me drilling through any of these cables. Then I can just pop down through the opening in the top, come down. I'll probably just stick it on L2 because it looks like they've got a few bits on L1 already. So yeah, I'll just run it down, pop it in.
I just spoke to the boss man who runs this little building, because Corey and I were talking about shutdown. You know, obviously to work safely in this board, we're going to want to shut all the power off to it, really. But in these industrial commercial situations, it's not always easy. It's just like, yeah, let's shut the power down because people are working, there's a business that's running. But anyway, I spoke to boss man and I said, is there an appropriate time for us to shut the power down? Do you want us to do a lunchtime or something? And he was just like, no, it's fine, anytime, mate, just give us a shout and you can turn it off, no problem. So I'm like, yeah, we're on the winner there. That doesn't happen very often. Yeah, just come in here to tell you that when you want to turn the power off,
Just do it.
Just give him a shout. I said we'd give him 5 minutes notice just so that he can do whatever he needs to do, shout to everyone.
Do you want to give him 5 minutes notice now? Yeah. And I'll get them holes drilled.
So I'm here in the office, and an integral part of getting these charge points working properly is to connect the hub to the internet. But a little problem that we have sometimes in commercial places is it's not as easy as just plug it into the router at somebody's house and it works, because often they have IT systems which have got firewalls and they're quite secure. So in this case I've plugged the hub in, but actually it's got red server light, which means it's not connecting to the internet. So we need to get the IT department to open up a port for us in this network switch. So I've just called the boss, and he's sending the IT guys over, and hopefully they'll be able to get that sorted out for us. Yeah, just a heads up, if you're ever doing commercial installs, it's something that you need to factor in, as it does usually take a bit longer to get the hub connected and paired up and firmware done and stuff, because you've got a few security things that you sometimes need to jump through the hoops in order to get it working properly and safely.
Switch them all off.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
I do not want to put that anywhere near my face. I would love to know what has been shot on this. Actually, no. I immediately take that back. This actually could totally replace Nathan. It's got tape, it's got way less attitude.
That probably cost a fortune back in the day.
No, look, it's actually a tape recorder. Viewpoint limited. Oh, that's a clever play on words.
Amazing.
Even got the little mic. Mate, I reckon they could have shot Star Wars on this for, you know. Pass that over to the cameraman. He's going to be filming the rest of this analog.
So the thing about working for big companies is that There's logistical problems sometimes. We ordered the cables and the charge points to be delivered to site yesterday. Yesterday, the cable company tried to drop the cables off and they got turned away, which is a bit of a pain. So now they've arranged to re-deliver today, and the charge points should arrive today as well. But I'm just here at the reception, just making sure that they know what's coming and that they've got my number, so that if the deliveries arrive, they can call me straight away, because we're working over the other side and they can't just give us a shout. So yeah, logistics are always fun. Look at you guys. How's it going? No? What's the problem?
One of the concrete blocks broke.
What, the EV blocks? No way. So this is an EV block, slightly cracked unfortunately, but these things happen. This is our pedestal that's going to go on it. So the whole idea behind these EV blocks is that you can mount pretty much any pedestal on them like that, and you've got a space for your cables to come up, and then you can just drill and bolt these down onto this plate. So we just need the right size bolts and the right size drill. And then if you ever need to get it off later to run in new cables, or say we wanted to change this from a single pedestal to a double, so you can fit 2 charge points, you've got that access hatch under there. You've got ducts going in, so you can just pull in new cables and just lift this whole thing off without having to completely dismount the charge point. It's a clever little system, and it's easier to do this than trying to get someone to pour concrete in place, have those bolts sticking up in exactly the right place for the charging point. Because imagine if later you change to a different brand of charge point where the bolts are not in the same place, you end up having to redo the whole concrete base. Whereas with this, all you do is drill different holes, or you just change this top plate, drill different holes, and then you're good to go with a new charge point. So clever little idea. They're not cheap, these things, but they are a great idea, and probably in terms of the price to buy one of these versus all the labour and expense involved in pouring concrete and making a bespoke base, it's probably not far off the same price, or maybe even cheaper to do it this way. So cool little idea. I'm getting hungry now, so I'm going to stop for a bite to eat, and then I'll show you inside the building how we're going to connect the charge points up there, and maybe we'll give you a little sneak peek into the inside workings of a lithium-ion battery recycling plant. You've got to love it when your customers have got heavy machinery like this and they can do all the hard work for you. This is awesome. An absolute beast of a machine. When we turned up this morning and the trenches hadn't been dug yet, I was like, what the heck is going on? We're not going to be able to do this job. I thought it would take days for them to organise all this groundwork, but here they are, and it's nearly done already. So in probably an hour, it'll all be ready, settled down, and we can just start pulling in cables, which is really awesome. So let's go inside. So this is the distribution boards where we're going to be taking power from for our 2 22 kilowatt My Energy Zappy charging points. We're just putting 2 new 3-phase 32 amp circuits in here, running cables from here, along there, through the wall, out to those 2 ducts that the customer's getting put in right now as we speak, and then we can run those cables straight into the charging points. So the actual cabling side of things should be fairly straightforward, and we've got plenty of spare ways here, which is good. We've got a 100 amp 3-phase supply, plenty to be going on with. We're going to put a grid limit on the charge points anyway, so that it's actually impossible for them to overload the system. But we do have DNO approval already to install 2 22 kilowatt charging points here, so that box is ticked. And the customer also has G99 approval to be able to send 5 kilowatts of power from the batteries, discharging them back into this electrical system. And ultimately, if there's more electricity being discharged from those batteries than is needed by this building, it will actually sell out to the grid. Oh, look who's come and joined us. Corey and Ruben.
I can't. You can.
I so want
Lisa's
to,
not
but
here.
I can't.
I won't tell her.
No, it's fine. It's just pure chunk of chocolate, isn't it? I thought the customer had bought it for you.
No, this was just for me actually. I've got another one in the car.
Right, so shall I show you what we're doing here?
Yeah, for sure.
You've already had a quick look in here, haven't you?
Yeah, so you've got the discharge unit.
Yes. Right, so basically this is a 5 kilowatt discharge unit. It is plugged into the electrical system via this 32 amp commando socket. Very simple setup. That goes through into this DB onto its own circuit. So essentially we could view it as like a battery storage system, but it will only be outputting when they've got batteries connected to it. And all we need to do is put our 3 CTs for our battery system on the 3 phases going into that breaker. Then we put our 3 grid CTs on the main tails here, and that's it basically. Here's a little trick for you, Ruben. If you're trying to figure out where on an outside wall stuff is, you know, to line up with what's on the inside, look for stuff that goes through the wall already. So you can see 2 pipes there going straight through the wall. So if we go around now and look on the other side, we'll be able to see where they come through, and then we'll know exactly where we're going to be coming through with our cables. Cables here. I bought one of those racketeers things.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, so I'll get that out of the van. So we've got cable delivered just in the nick of time, which is awesome. And I got these from the wholesaler this morning because I've had my eye on these for quite a while, but not really had a good enough excuse to use them. But today these are going to come in handy, the racketeers. So it's basically a stand that you can put a piece of tube through, and then you can rest heavy cable drums on there, and they just make it easy to roll out heavy drums of cable. So Corey's just getting some conduit, some galvanised conduit from the van, and then we'll stick that through there. We've got the zappies, they've arrived, but the pedestal, no sign of it? Right, so I need to call DHL and find out what happened to the pedestal.
Would you know who Doofenshmirtz is, if I was to tell you, or is that before your time? After your time? That's after his time. Well, for any of our viewers who appreciate a bit of Phineas and Ferb, Doofenshmirtz, here's a challenge for you. Look up the German meaning of the word and put it in the comments below, and feel pretty sorry for him. It's very sad.
1, 2, 3.
So overdue having one of these.
So you want to line it in the little groove there. It's pretty wobbly. That conduit is not as strong as that bar. Will the conduit snap? That is the question. Hey, that was a disaster waiting to happen. That way. Do you want to give it a pull, Corey? Ah! Right, so Artisan angle drilling company. We're going for a fairly modest sized drill bit today because we don't want to show off too much. But basically this pipe's going straight through, so we just want to avoid that. So what I'm thinking is we've got 2 holes, probably only this size or maybe slightly bigger, maybe that size, for the Cat 5 armoured to go in. So we could probably put those below, and then we can run those 2 straight across and up into there. And then we go 1 notch up, we'll go for the 2 armoureds, and we'll take those across and up into this board. If we get a good angle on it, then it just means the cables come through a little bit smoother, so we'll do this. Oh, that's bang on. Perfect. Ruben, we're going to teach you some fundamental principles of artisan angle drilling. So if you want to sit down here, watch carefully. Have you ever used one of these before?
I have.
Okay. With Corey or?
Yeah, with Corey.
Yeah, okay, good. So he's already taught you the basics of like how to actually make it run and forward and reverse and all that stuff, yeah? Okay, cool. So the basic principle of angle drilling is it's kind of like trigonometry, which is angles. So what we've done here, we've got these 2 holes that we've drilled through already. We've drilled these at a steep angle through the wall. Now this, do you know what we would call this when we're using a smaller drill bit to drill the first hole?
A pilot. Or pilot bit.
That's it. Why would it be a pilot? Doesn't fly a plane?
I don't know. I remember searching that up before. I can't remember.
Let us know in the comments, why is this called a pilot bit? But yeah, it's a pilot bit. So you basically drill a small hole to start with to make sure that you come out in the right place on the other side, and then you can enlarge in it with the correct size drill that you need. So all I'm going to ask you to do today, hopefully super easy job, is open that hole up with this larger drill bit, and just make sure you go at the right angle so that you're following the other hole. And the way you can know if you're going at the right angle is just use this as a guide. So you see that if we were drilling straight, we'd be drilling like that and we wouldn't be at the right angle.
Right.
But if you follow the angle of this drill, like that, then you'll come out in the right place. Because we've drilled both holes through at the same angle. And then what you want to do as well is think about whether you're sloping down or sloping up. You want to kind of have it level if possible, just so that, again, you don't end up coming out too high or too low on the other side. So if you follow the line of this, then you're going to be about right. So keep the gap there the same as the gap there, and you should be about right.
Cool.
Should be a super easy job, but just wanted to talk you through the thought process behind it.
Okay.
And you've got your correct PPE on, which is good.
I do.
You reckon you're through?
Think so.
Should we go around and check?
Felt like it.
See if you've hit anything. Oh yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah,
you can see it below there.
I just pulled it back a little bit.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
think.
Should try and pull some cables through.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. It's not the evening. What's happening? You're working with me and you've actually finished on time. Today's gone really well. So as you can see behind us, the pedestal bases are in. We've got all the cables in. So tomorrow, day 2, will be another video. Stay tuned for that. We're going to be connecting the cables up at both ends, mounting the zappies on the pedestals, doing the commissioning and setting up the clever system whereby we can feed the excess power from the batteries into the charge points and to feed the rest of the building as well. So stay tuned for part 2 coming up very soon. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to do that. It really helps the channel to grow. And if you like the video, hit a thumbs up, share it out with someone else who might enjoy it too. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.